That's James's spaghetti squash and his smoothie. It's blackberry banana today. And that's all that I put in the spaghetti squash with some spinach. So, not my best meal. We're going to talk about that finally. And the rest of these things here. So, we've been meaning to talk about it for a while and haven't gotten around to it. I made a few notes to get me started. So this is my outfit for today. It's a lovely outfit. I love the embroidered little, I don't know, what would you say these are? Pinwheels? I don't know, flowers maybe?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But, yeah.
They look almost Celtic.
Maybe. So, I'm going to bring it in a little bit closer so you can see James a little bit better. And maybe hear him a little better.
Yeah, maybe.
And we'll see. I guess James likes the pasta because he's going for that the first thing.
Well, I really should go for the other because they're kind of hard on the teeth.
Doesn't matter to me.
And they'll harden up.
I overwatered one of the plants just now. It's dripping. So that's just Vega chocolate with some psyllium in it and water. So, if you're wondering, nothing too fancy. So, yeah, Star Wars Andor, the complete first season. Bottom of the stack. I'm just not into the whole Star Wars thing. I had a hard time deciding, where am I going to put this in the stack? Should it be above or below the Running Man? James is going to talk about the Running Man. And he'll talk about Gulliver's Travels. So, I'll talk about some of this other stuff. So I'm going to start with the notes I made. And honestly, I think I was in quite a mood. And finally I decided, that's it, I'm giving up on my notes. And
was that this morning or yesterday or both?
I don't know maybe yesterday or the day before I made this. Not this morning. This morning I wrote a poem. Not a great one, but something. It's, anyway, it's about red-winged blackbirds having a romance down at Elizabeth Hall.
Lots of it, yeah.
It'll probably be my next blog post. I have a bunch of videos to upload. So, I started writing about if I had legs, I'd kick you, and then I went off in a different direction. Let's see. Women shouldn't be expected to be mothers, some aren't. Women shouldn't be expected to want to have it all. That have it all concept is BS. One only has so much time and energy. It wasn't empowering for women to have to hold jobs outside of the homes. This was 1970s and 80s BS. It was marketing that many women believed, though. Their men weren't thrilled with the extra competition for their jobs either. So women got to raise children, maintain the household, clean, make dinners, whatever, on top of working outside the home. How empowering. The family suffered. Meals became more instant. Family became less family. Industrialization in Britain, the women and children working outside the home.
Meals.
Yeah. And they were preferred. They were the preferred workforce.
They're more tractable.
Yeah. So, and then all of a sudden, the people without so much means were encouraged to, well, some were forced to go elsewhere, debtor's prison and whatever. People ended up in Australia. But people were encouraged, immigration encouraged for a better life in Canada, right? And then, well, they got a better life for a while. Women didn't have to work outside the home. But then World War II, women put back in factories while their men fought and died. And soon children will be empowered to work. This empowerment is doublespeak. Anyway, and so I'm saying, yeah, this is a bit propaganda, but it's really great stuff. Now people are immigrating to Canada from Africa, the Middle East, South America, but mainly China and India. We're being imperialized by the PRC and fascist India. But if you're white Canadian opposed to open immigration, you're labeled a racist, even though this open immigration is really a kind of hate crime against the natives. Here. And the environment here.
Indigenous
More people, less environment. I walked down to Fort Whoop-Up, which is also a marketed lie that's truly just a boring sort of Lethbridge at Disneyland. I saw a monster truck parked in the lot with a table set up behind it. I walked over to find out what it was about. Corb Lund set up a petition to get new coal mines blocked in the foothills of Alberta. I asked the guy how he's marketing this thing to city dwellers, since they'd be relying on them more than other Albertans to put this petition through. Of course, Corb Lund and other wealthy landowners in the Albertan foothills want to protect their property values and scenery, whatever, lifestyle. But why would urban Albertans care to help them do so, especially immigrants who don't own land here and neither have nor want any connection to the land? Especially those just here for opportunities. It's another
the major
marketing
opportunity
thing.
for too many of them is
To swamp the Canadian welfare and healthcare system until it disappears for all Canadians. Were you going to say that?
They feel this place is really dear as a stepping stone to a place to the United States.
We've been herded off the land and into cities for decades. Get big or get off agriculture land. The selenium that ends up in the rivers due to coal extraction can be treated from the water. So why would this even affect people living in Calgary, Edmonton, Lethbridge, etc.? Even if it does, some aggressive propagandists will likely be hired to sell Albertans on how high selenium is a great thing. It's in chia seeds and Brazil nuts.
And it's very good.
Most think they're superfoods. Besides, the beavers will all be dandruff-free. What?
It's not quite as good as zinc, but for pumping up the immune system. But that's only, what was that?
It'll interact. It keeps zinc from being absorbed. And so then, if you're looking for immunity, that's worth off. So I was getting into that. Even if their immunity sucks, the beavers, and they catch whatever the next plague is and die off, because the selenium blocks zinc absorption. We need more energy with every human we bring into Canada. Every new immigrant and the family of 10 they will have wants their own monster truck too. So does Corb Lund want the oil and gas industry all over his land, fracking the frack out of it instead? Then he can light his high selenium water on fire. Maybe he'd rather see solar panels covering the eastern slopes of our Rocky Mountains, which benefit the PRC's economy, and wind turbines owned by wealthy foreign entities all over his land. These things will all happen. We'll see it if we live long enough. I asked the man at the table why they couldn't treat the selenium at the source. He could see where I was going. He could. We could, but, and, he went off in another way.
Oh, he did?
Those profiting in the energy industry should be the ones who have to pay to clean up the pollution they create, which affects everyone. But they won't, and we won't make them do so. We've already learned this from oil and gas foreign companies profiting by extracting our energy, then leaving behind a mess for Albertans to deal with. So, and then I decided, oh wow, am I ever off in a totally different direction? Meant to be talking about this, but I guess, having seen the guy at the table, and, he's not having, I wanted to see what he was going to say, because I'm not the person he has to convince. I've seen Grand Cache, and anybody who thinks, oh yeah, well, no big deal, let's extract some coal. Go drive by Grand Cache. Go there and see what a beautiful mountain landscape can be turned into, just like that. You know, it's disgusting. So I'm not the person to convince, but he really wasn't able to sell it to me, and I'm like, I'm going to sign the thing because I don't want the coal mining in the foothills either, you know, whether it benefits Core Blund or not. Yeah. But honestly, you gotta work harder.
Like bicycle or hike down. Don't bring a monster truck down.
I mean,
You're not
ridiculous.
worried about the environment if you're driving a monster truck over. There was no one with him, right?
No.
There's no one even riding shotgun with him?
No.
Not even his dog. Okay.
Anyway, like I was saying before, great acting, great story, great special effects, and everything that were used, although there wasn't that much of that. It was tastefully done, and so it didn't rely on special effects at all. I'm not saying that. It was perfect. That's a 5 out of 5 as far as I'm concerned. What do you have to say about it?
Maybe wasn't as impressed as you, but boy, was it depressing. It was effective that way.
Mm-hmm.
You just see someone caught in this situation. No one's helping out at work or at home.
Mm-hmm.
And I know women who've been in this situation.
Yeah. And
some of them in my family. So.
In this story, it's a little bit, I don't know if I entirely believed it, because both her and her husband, they make a lot of money. I mean, she's either a psychologist or a psychiatrist herself, right? So she could afford to hire a nurse. But then I was thinking about it. This is something that she wants to feel like she's in control, that it's her job, right? Like the young woman that she's counseling, it's her job to take care of the child. And so maybe because she's a psychologist or a psychiatrist or whatever, that makes her feel like even more of a failure because she can't do this right, you know? So then I thought, well, maybe it is believable that she wouldn't hire a nurse or somebody to help her out, because she could. She has the means to. It doesn't make sense why she wouldn't, really. That's the only fault that I could see with the show. That possibility. But aside from that, it's great. You don't like anybody else in the movie. You have the young woman who's having trouble. You like her. It's very sad for her. I mean, that's one thing. I've seen how they're firsthand. I saw some grumpy man who was with a nice little submissive woman who was taking care of children, and they were his children. His newborn baby was crying, and he yelled at her to shut that kid up.
And kept on that.
And yeah, and
it was way worse than the kid itself.
It's way worse, and it's and this was in front of James, and so I mean that's believable. That a lot of guys, well, that's the woman's job to take care of the child, no matter whether she's paying half the rent or any working outside the home or whatever. It's just expected, right? So
taking care of a child, this one, is not a full-time job. It's an overtime job. It's 24/7, 52. Anyone who yells at someone who's basically the primary caregiver, is out to lunch.
So, anyway, great movie. Inland Empire. I'm going to say that I mean, this is the digital age, and they had subtitles for the Polish dialogue, but they didn't have, there was no option that I could find to make subtitles for the English, and on our player we basically don't have sound. We have very little.
We bought it on the cheap, and it went.
Yeah, and so so that's how we watch the Blu-ray stuff, is with the subtitles on. And I mean, I realize that David Lynch music is very important to him.
It is.
But still, you'd think that he wouldn't prevent deaf people from watching his shows. It's just silly. So, but here it is. You can't get English subtitles on this thing. It's crazy. So, they're both movies about a woman in trouble, and this one's way better. And even though I'm a David Lynch fan, and I think James is too, but there you go. So yeah,
he's the only. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
The only art school type that I can put up with, and it's better than putting up with.
And both
I was
of us,
shocked to find out he'd been to art school.
yeah, both of us like the extras more than the movie in this.
The extra features. Yep.
Yeah. Like there was one where he was talking about moving to Philadelphia, and he was packing around a stick that he'd hammered nails all through it in all directions, right?
Did you guys see that they patched the holes?
I
Yep.
did. It looks
I
great.
that in 1 year ago.
Well,
Wow.
good job.
Spring, so it took that long.
It took that long, but they've got a
They
good
got
guy
it
as
done. It's
Yeah.
they've got a good guy as a lead hand now.
Yes.
He does a job.
So that's so good. That
It-
can't believe it.
It's awesome. They filled
Wow.
what was it? 27 holes in the
Wow.
you counted.
one block. I
So
counted
inland
12 here, 12 on the north side, and then they actually did an extra, a freebie,
Oh, very nice.
south of Deluxe. So like I
So-
say, I worked with the guys, the lead hand, and he's turned out to be.
So
a
anyway,
good
the
worker.
police found him saw him while he was packing the stick, and the policeman said, "What do you have there?" And he showed the guy the stick, and the policeman said, "Good job," or whatever, right? He didn't care that he was walking around with the
It was
stick.
like, you go, guy.
Yeah,
He knew.
yeah.
Philadelphia by times has been the murder capital of the United States. That's worse than Detroit. How that happens, I don't know. There you go.
So it was a great place for David Lynch to end up and be inspired, I guess. He was just meant to go there.
I think it helped when it came to art school. They came from the boonies. It doesn't get more boony than Montana. And he came from Missoula, near Missoula, and that's where the University of Montana is. But that's hardly, bright lights and big city time. I don't think there's any place in Montana as big as Lethbridge, for example.
And in the booklet, there's the interviewer asked something about, were you disappointed with how the Inland Empire was received, or something like that, and he said something like, well, he said it was in, I don't know, some 120 theaters or something
125,
like that.
I think he said.
Okay,
Or-
and for a movie that is 3 hours long and nobody can understand, that's pretty great, or something like that, right? So, and I have to admit, I don't know exactly what happened in the movie. I have some ideas, but I don't know that it matters, because she's a woman in trouble. So you go, well, how in trouble is she? Is this whole thing in her head, kind of thing? Is she, hallucinating how much or any of it, or is she actually this prostitute lady, or is she mentally connected with her somehow? Or I mean,
It's funny
you
with these
don't know.
long,
You don't know, but does it matter?
long-standing existential questions.
Yeah.
It seems like he works better in on a big palette, the artistic thing, like the series Twin Peaks. It's just you go on from week after week, I guess it was. You watched the original, and you're going, what is it? What's going on? And that sort of stuff. You kind of get into that. I wouldn't call it paranoia, but it's something. Anyway, it's he handles that weirdness better. Weirdly.
Yeah. Anyway, so Task. This is basically like, I don't know if the FBI should be offended by this show, because this is basically like the gang who couldn't shoot straight or something. It's
well, they'd actually shoot straight at themselves, but yeah, they should be really offended.
Yeah. So anyway, it's I think both James and I like this is the first season, so I guess we'll see more of Mark Ruffalo.
Ruffalo? I
Don't know. See, I asked James because he's the go-to guy about names, languages.
I've been
whatever.
looking at Italian
Usually I'd
names.
get like a half an hour response on, oh,
What the
this
name
is,
is?
yeah, it comes from here and this and that, and it's related to da-da-da-da-da or whatever. But no.
I suspect
Doesn't
it's
know.
Irish or Italian. I've been going through a book of, thanks to our downtown Lethbridge library, and the meanings of Italian surnames, and it's not exhaustive, but it's fairly lengthy, and I don't think his name is in there. So
Oh, that's funny.
that's why I can't tell you, how to. Well, maybe one of the reasons why I can't tell you. But there you go. Usually in Latin, if a syllable ends, or if it's the second last syllable, and if it ends in only one consonant, it's not accented. And then the accent goes to the previous syllable. And also, if a syllable, second last or third last, has two consonants at its end, after the vowel, then it's accented. So that's why I say Ruffalo. I'm giving it the Latin accent, but what the Italians do with those rules, I don't know. I'll have to check it out. And of course, anyone who's come
Well,
from
I
the
would
United
say
States
it would be Ruffalo, because then
Exactly.
it'd be like rigatoni.
That's the way that's the way Italian is, but there are exceptions where they go with the Latin pronunciation. So it depends on how traditional word is.
There's some great scenery in this.
Oh
I
man,
have to say that.
yeah.
Philadelphia's pretty.
Well, we're just
The-
talking about
no,
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
But Pennsylvania.
Yeah, not
it
the
would
city
be.
itself.
You wouldn't have to get too far out of Philadelphia. You'd
But
find
how
some
could you
forest.
live in a place like that and want to be a violent person when you're surrounded by so much beauty?
Yeah, the funny thing is,
Don't get it.
the one guy wants to get a bunch of money. He starts off maybe as the hero, although he's an anti-hero too.
Yeah.
And he wants to get out of that place. But then when you see what he's trying to get away from, you realize he wants
But
to get
basically, like, this is Mark Ruffalo, maybe. He's playing a guy who's FBI agent, and he's an ex-priest and stuff like that, and yet here he's leading this task force, and he's working with a woman who's about to retire, and the rest of the people are rookies, and it's like, okay, who put this together and said, yeah, you pick out a bunch of rookies to take on this task force and whatever. And that's what really I'm left with. There's supposed to be, there's somebody who's informing the gang, the one gang, on different things and whatever from within the FBI task force. But really, I look at this and go, well, who's set this task, like Mark Ruffalo's character, up to have this junky task force, frankly?
He ends up having to multitask because he's having to babysit them, and then he's trying to run down well,
Anyway, I like the FBI shows.
A gang, a motorcycle gang.
Jack Black in Gulliver's Travels. This was more enjoyable than I thought it would be. I'm not I don't really like comedy that much anyway, but I'm not really a fan of Jack Black. James is. So He'll talk about
Two
this.
thumbs up. They were doing the thumbs up. Hey, Jack.
I do
Really
like
like you,
him. Like he does he's a good song and dance man. He has
You
a
know,
lot of energy.
he's got
and he
way
really
more
rocks out,
rock and
so-
roll energy than almost
Yeah.
anyone has ever had in rock and roll. Yeah.
Anyway, the Running Man. This one's really political. I think Michael Cera and William H. Macy. What are you guys, out of money or something? You can't find work?
Are
Give
you
these
out
guys
of your
better
minds?
Jobs. Like,
Get
this is
better jobs.
not,
You guys are quality,
Yeah.
and don't do stupid propaganda where you're propagandizing for anarchists and for admirers of Che Guevara. Come on.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a Stephen King thing, but it's not one of his better things, I have to say. And this was largely a disappointment. And Star Wars Andor, James and I were both confused by why Canadian funding was going to so many British actors. Why? And why are British people so bad? I'm not sure. Like, there were a lot of
Yeah.
really
Now, Pauline pointed out
bad.
that some of the bad guys included people of color.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
white British guys were way overrepresented. And this isn't diversity, folks. When you single out whites as bad people, it's not diversity, right?
I don't know. Anyway, it's there's a lot of special effects here, and maybe it relied on them a little bit much. It's I don't know.
It was bad.
Found it boring, and it was hard for me to work out to it because I found it so incredibly boring.
See, the impression I got was
Be better
that
to
the
sleep.
shore troopers, not stormtroopers, are ice agents, right? They're trying to keep people from swimming in or whatever. I did a lot of sleeping through that.
All right, so James wanted to talk about the propaganda in this, yeah? Or no? The Running Man? I'm not sure.
Well, again,
The special effects weren't great in Gulliver's Travels, I have to say. But it could be that it was just, it's a bit old. It's 2010. So maybe it's just that much time has passed that it just looks cheesy. And so this is why I say, go back and watch the old movies that relied on special effects. Do you still like them? You know, we're dealing with Star Wars stuff. Why do people love Star Wars so much? Star Wars sucked. And honestly, everything they've done sucks. So,
I like the original Star Wars, but basically now as a campy kind of thing, the acting was so bad, except for Harrison Ford and Chewbacca and
Okay.
R2-D2 and C-3PO.
so you have
Everyone
about
else-
30 seconds to talk about the Running Man. Whatever you'd wanted to say
Okay.
about it.
So we get enough, guys in North America, get enough propaganda about the ideal male build. So this guy's steroided out. This is not the ideal male build for actually surviving. Get there the fastest with the mostest. If you're actually even thinking about war, you don't get there fast if you're overbulked with muscles. It comes down to weight to cardio ratio. And I played soccer against